If you are considering going to Pace University, you need to watch this video. Like, deadass, don't waste your money. Today I've compiled a list of pros and cons about Pace University, and I've broken them down into academic and social pros and cons, and I'm just gonna go, pro, con, pro, con. So let's get it started. And this is Luna, and she wanted to be in the video, so say hi to my cat. All right, let's get it started. So my first academic tip is that the professors are very lenient. So some professors are going to be very willing to work with you, whether you're going through anxiety, depression. Like, my professors this semester were very lenient, and I appreciated that so much because your girl did go through a lot this semester. I won't lie to you. Like, it was just panic attack after panic attack, but I made it through and I got a 3.8 because of them. So I really appreciate that. A con that I have about Pace University, however, fucking cat. Okay, a con that I have about Pace University, however, is that there's not enough classes for the amount of students that there are. So the classes fill up like that, and unless you're on the spot for your registration time at 9 a.m. and you fill in those CRNs, which are course registration numbers, like, you're not gonna get into a class. And to get into a class, if it fills up, you have to email your advisor, and then you have to email the board of whatever department for the class that you're trying to get into. So it's a very complicated process, and I think it could be made a lot easier by just offering more classes, but the university won't bring on more professors, and it sucks because a lot of the professors are part-time professors that work at SUNYs or CUNYs. So that's definitely a con that I have about Pace University. Another pro that I have, though, is that it's a very liberal school. So I've never felt uncomfortable within my sexual identity because, like, Pace prioritizes gender identity and sexual identity, like, very seriously. So it's like, when you introduce yourself in class, it's like, hey, I'm Kai, I go by he, she, he, him, his, or I go by she, her, hers, or I go by they, them. So that's like something that they do to make sure that everyone feels comfortable. There's also a lot of gender neutral bathrooms. There's a lot of LGBTQ clubs. Like, they do a lot for you. Even though Pace does a lot for you, you still have to remember that Pace is an institution. Just like every institution, there is racism, there is classism, and occasional, a little bit of sexism in there. And I'm gonna go into this a little bit deeper, all right? So, it is a money-making game, bro. College is a scam, as we all know, but we go to it because we need it, For what I want to do, I need it. Not everyone needs it. Also, you see that I'm having shortness of breath. I'm currently quarantining because I think I have coronavirus. So I'm sick, but I'm still on the game. Feel me? So you better be supporting this. But as I said, there's a lot of underlying racism. Recently, there was this group on Instagram that came out. I think it's called Something About Our Truth. If I'm not mistaken, drop it in the comments below if you know what it is. But it was basically like, I watched a few videos about the dance department specifically, and they were talking about I watched a few videos about the dance department specifically, and they were just talking about how there's a lot of racist people that Pace are affiliated with, and a lot of the people of color dancers had to, like, deal with this racist instructor that they were being forced to have teach them. And the professor was forcing them and telling them, hey, like, this is for your future, you don't want to mess this up. So, like, things like that, coercing people to work with people that are not favorable to their color is, like, something that has happened at Pace. I haven't experienced, like, racism outright, but I have experienced, like, pro-police, like, professors, because I'm in the criminal justice department. It does make sense, but it sucks because I had this one professor that was like, oh, I feel like every, like, black police shooting happened because the black person was doing something wrong and something against the law. And he just generalized the fuck out of every, like, black police brutality case. And it really bugged me. Like, it really did bug me because I was like, That is not true. Like, everyone knows it's not true. You could go back and watch the videos, and he was not open to watching the videos or anything. So bear that in mind. Keep all these things, make a mental note, because they will come up and it will infuriate you. Pace had this controversy going on last year at their career day where they decided to invite ICE. These motherfuckers invited ICE to a school full of international students, and we all know how ICE feels about international students. Full of international students, there's a lot of people with undocumented parents that go to that school, and they invited fucking ICE to the career day. So that just says a lot about PACE as an institution by itself. Moving on to the social aspect, PACE is very diverse. Like, PACE is a very diverse school, and there's a lot of like people from different backgrounds. I think there's like at least one person from every country at PACE, or almost at least one person from every country at PACE. So keep that in mind. You will meet a lot of people from a lot of different backgrounds. One big point that I need to make, though, this is a significant con. PACE is not a party school. Unless you have a fake, or unless you are already 21, don't come to this school, at least the New York City campus, to party, because you will not find parties. You will find small apartment gatherings where they're listening to Taylor Swift or fucking JID, whatever the fuck that is, on a small ass speaker and just sitting around smoking or drinking. Nobody's dancing, nobody's doing nothing. Do not come to PACE if you want to party. If you want to party, get a fake, go out to the club, go to the Bronx, go to Brooklyn, go to Queens, bro. Like, find yourself a good group of people outside of PACE. I think the fact that PACE wasn't a party school was my biggest disappointment at PACE, because like I didn't have that traditional like college experience that most people get to have. Like, I was in my dorms drinking with like 2 or 3 people. Like, it really sucked. It wasn't until like I moved to Brooklyn, and unfortunately that was fucking during the coronavirus pandemic, like where I really got some experiences going and everything. But I mean, if you find a good group of friends, like if you're not the type to party, you can still chill with your bros, you know? Like, just sit in the dorm, do your thing, play some music, make sure it's not too loud, because them RAs be snitching, bro. Like, dorm living is not cute. Like, dorm living, as soon as it gets to 11 o'clock, we have these thing called quiet hours. And after quiet hours, like, it's game. Like, these RAs are out for your blood. If they smell even the smallest stench of marijuana, like, you're gonna get knocked on and you're gonna get a write-up. If you get like 8 points, like because they put points on your housing, then you're out. Like, you're gonna get kicked out. So be very careful about what you do and how you do it. Move silently, so don't nobody have to bother you while you're doing your shit. Since PACE is so diverse, there's a lot of rich kids. When there's rich kids, there's not a lot of good things, because PACE has rich kids, poor kids, and everything in between. So a lot of these rich kids love to look down on people that are not at their same socioeconomic status, and they look down on us and they're just like, I'm better than you. Like, you see them walking in their Gucci shoes, like you see them walking in their fucking Louis Vuitton purses and shit like that. So it just sucks. Like, it really does. Like, you could either let it motivate you to do better, not even to be like them, but to do better and to get to that level, or you can let it anger you. I just let it motivate me. I'm like, I don't want to be you, but I want to be in your same financial position, and I want to use my money better than fucking spending $600 on some shoes that are gonna get dirty. Like, fuck that. I'm not about that, you know? The last con I have about PACE is that since we have so many rich fucking brats, they think that it's okay to talk to teachers a certain way, because as I said, they think that they're above everybody in that fucking school. So I've seen people talk shit to teachers in front of their faces, laughing in their faces and shit like that, and then wondering why they're getting a bad grade or why their attendance is fucked up. So don't be that. If you have that energy, leave that shit at home, because like, we already have enough fucked up energy at this school. This school is so expensive, yo. This is the financial aspect of it that I'm going to go into detail about. PACE is a projected $68,000 a year with housing. Recently, it went up to $72,000 a year, but it's going back down because of the coronavirus pandemic. I'm currently in over $80,000 debt, and PACE has like stolen. I'm saying stolen because they've stolen $4,800 from me. So I'll explain. When the coronavirus pandemic hit, right? So we paid $10,000 per semester for housing. We had paid the $10,000 in full. And then they said, oh, you have to move out by this date. Or you could stay and then like enjoy your housing or whatever, but you can't go outside. Like you can't go into people's dorms, obviously, because they're trying to contain the virus. But I moved out because I wasn't gonna stay in that fucking dorm. So they only gave me back $2,000 from the $10,000 that I paid. Pace fucked me out of $4,869 or something like that. So I kept emailing them. I would email the provost. I would try to get in touch with the president. I got in touch with the dean, and they kept saying, there's nothing that we could do for you. We're not going to do it. Like, we're not giving you any money back. That's the most we could give. You are an institution that makes a projected just with tuition alone, $40,000 per student for 11,000 students, 11,000 and counting. And you're telling me you could only give back 2,000 out of the 10,000 that I paid. PACE is a scam. This is why I say don't go there. Go to a CUNY or a SUNY if you're from New York City. You know why? Because you could go to college for free, and this is a mistake I made. This was the biggest mistake I ever made in my life, because I could have gone to college for free, gotten the same fucking degree that would have served the same purpose, but unfortunately I didn't take that route. So this is why I say, please, before you go to this school, consider the facts. If you're rich and you can afford it, great. Go have yourself a good time. It's New York City. Everybody loves New York City. But if you're like me and you have to work 3 times harder for everything you got, then make a financial decision and go to a school that you can afford, or a school that you can go to for free. You live in New York City. You can meet people anywhere. Like, it's not that hard to meet people. And if you think, oh, I'm not good enough to meet people, everybody's good enough to meet people. Like, you're going to meet the people that you really click with. A lot of my friends are not even from PACE type shit, you know? So please, make a smart decision. Don't follow in my footsteps. Yes, it's like a beautiful campus, but it's mad small. There's only one cafeteria, which is literally small as fuck, so there's always people packing in it. Like, before the pandemic occurred, like that cafeteria looked like it was a bunch of fucking junkies huddling up around a damn barrel, like trying to smoke crack. Like, literally, it was bad. So please, before you make decision to go to PACE University, consider the cost, consider the cost of housing, because that is a separate cost. Consider all of the fees that they charge. They charge for a lot of fees that they don't explain. There's a general fee for $500 on there. They're not going to explain it to you. There's an IT fee, there's a book fee, books that they don't provide to you. You have to buy your own books. So there's a lot of fees that they don't explain to you. They really don't give a shit about you, and they're gonna, like, if you don't pay your bill on time, like, you're not allowed to go to class. They lock you out of Blackboard, and that's the end of it. So please consider, the consequences and the actions and the cost before you go to PACE University. Thank you so much for bearing with me. I know my shortness of breath is not preferred, but your bitch has corona, so I got tested today. I'm gonna tell you all the results next time.